So, hello everyone, good evening to all. Just confirm me once that my voice is audible and the PDF file is visible to you so that we can start the session. The live chat box is here. You just need to confirm me once that my voice is audible and the PDF file is visible to you. Firstly, comment in the chat box, sir, my voice is audible. Most probably there is no issue at my end. So, can we start the session? I just want your corporation during the session. Sir, comment me in the chat box that my voice is audible. So, in our today's session, this is the very important, most important topic in current scenario, the annual closing of the GST, annual closing from GST perspective. Okay. So, we have designed this uh, workshop, this webinar on the very relevant topic, that is annual closing from GST perspective. In our this webinar, we are going to discuss on each and every point related to the annual closing. Before moving ahead, I just want to share one to two things with you. The first one is that the session should be interactive. Okay. Here the chat box is here on the YouTube channel. You will find out the live chat box. If you have any question, if you have any doubt, if you have any point, you can raise the question, you can raise that point in the chat box. Okay. And if I'm asking any question, in that case, this is your responsibility to provide the reply in the chat box. This is my humble submission to you, because when the session will be interactive, in that case, we will learn a lot of things. Okay. The second thing is that the mode of communication for the session is in Hindi and English. Okay. Both the languages are there. If you are not comfortable with Hindi or English, in that case, you may comment in the chat box. We will convert that line into Hindi and English as per your convenience. Okay. So there is no issue with that. Okay. So in our this webinar, we are going to discuss a very important topic, that is annual closing. Sir, आप लोगों के दिमाग में क्वेश्चन आ रहा होगा कि we had already done the annual closing at the time of filing of our income tax return, at the time of filing of our income tax audit. So why now again you are doing this annual closing? Why you are using this word, that is annual closing? So sir, the basic purpose, the basic motto of this webinar is that we all know the 31st December is the due date to file the annual return under GST. If your turnover is about 2 crore rupees, in that case, there is requirement to file GSTR-9. And if your turnover is more than 5 crore rupees, in that case, there is requirement to file the GSTR-9C annual reconciliation. Okay, well, you are liable to file all those returns. And we all know that as per section number 16, subsection 4 of CGST Act, there is a timeline to adjust certain things related to the financial year. That is the financial year 22-23 से related अगर मुझे कोई adjustment करना है, if I want to make any adjustment related to financial year 22-23, in that case I have a due date, I have a deadline, I have a timeline that I need to claim that input tax credit, or I need to pay that output tax, or I need to make those necessary adjustment before 30th November और एनुअल रिटर्न की फाइलिंग की डेट, whichever is earlier, तब तक का मेरे पास में टाइम अवेलेबल है. दैट मींस आई हैव द मैक्सिमम टाइमलाइन इज 30th नवंबर. दैट मींस अक्टूबर मंथ का रिटर्न में 30th नवंबर को फाइल करूंगा. सो आई हैव द टाइमलाइन, आई कैन मेक द एडजस्टमेंट टिल द फाइलिंग ऑफ द अक्टूबर मंथ रिटर्न, दैट इज 20th November. Or if I am going to make delay, if I am going to file my October month return delay, in that case I have the maximum timeline is 30th November to make the necessary adjustment. So from that perspective I am talking that this is your annual closing. Because अगर अभी आप नहीं कर पाए, if you are not able to make those necessary adjustment till 30th November, in that case आउटपुट अगर आपने कम पे किया है, आप GSTR-9 में जाके पे कर सकते हो. बट इफ यू हैड लेस क्लेम्ड इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट, योर एलिजिबल इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट, इन दैट केस till 30th November you have the timeline, you can claim that input tax credit. But after that, while filing the GSTR-9 or 9C return, you will not be eligible to claim that input tax credit. That is what is the logic. That is what is the okay. So this is the importance of this 30th November deadline, and this is the importance of our this webinar, that is annual closing from GST perspective. I have used the word that is GST perspective. Okay. So in this session, I am not going to take your much more time. We will complete this session in 45 to 50 to 1 hour. Maximum timeline is 1 hour. We'll complete this session. But in this 1 hour, we are going to discuss each and every important point which we need to take care at the time of our annual closing from GST perspective. Okay. So also you have my WhatsApp number. If you have any doubt, you can connect with me over WhatsApp. There is no issue with that. Also you can chat with me. There is a chat box is available. Live chat is also there. If you have any question, you can put the question in the chat box. Okay. So now let's start our discussion. So I have divided this webinar into 4 to 5 parts. Okay. So उन 4 से 5 पार्ट में हम लोग point by point discuss करेंगे. I know you all are filing the annual returns, that is GSTR-9 and 9C since last 4 to 5 years. Okay. So we all have the expert knowledge in filing the GSTR-9 and 9C, but the point is that we need to file the return in a proper way, in a best way. So for that purpose, we have this session. Okay. So the first point on which I am going to start my discussion. And after completion of each and every point, I will ask you one question that this point is okay for you or not, and this is your responsibility to provide the reply in the chat box. Okay, so that मुझे एश्योरेंस हो जाए कि जो भी बात मैं यहां पर कर रहा हूं दिस इज क्लियर इन योर माइंड. ओके, सो फर्स्ट नो दीज थिंग्स बिफोर फाइलिंग योर एनुअल रिटर्न. कई बार क्या होता है, हम लोग क्या सोचते हैं, वी आर थिंकिंग दैट एनुअल रिटर्न करना क्या है, द डेटा विच इज ऑटो पॉपुलेटेड फ्रॉम द GSTR1, द इनपुट रिलेटेड डेटा विच इज ऑटो पॉपुलेटेड फ्रॉम द GSTR3 रिटर्न, वी जस्ट नीड टू चेक दोस डेटा एंड वी नीड टू फाइल द GSTR9 रिटर्न और 9C रिटर्न. और अब तो हमारे साइन भी नहीं है, दैट इज इफ यू आर अ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट, in that case there is no requirement to file the reconciliation statement as well, but this is our responsibility to file the return in a very professional way. और जब आप लोग प्रोफेशनल वे में 9 और 9C को फाइल करोगे, इन दैट केस दिस इज माय एश्योरेंस टू यू, देयर आर मल्टीपल कॉम्प्लेक्सिटीज आर देयर. Okay, I am not going to discuss on the practical filing of GSTR-9 and 9C in this return. Okay, we have a separate workshop on GSTR-9 and 9C return, which will start from tomorrow morning. Okay, we have this workshop as well. But in this webinar, we are going to discuss about the preparation of the annual return. कौन-कौन से backend पे चीजें हैं जो हमारे पास में readily available होनी चाहिए to file the GSTR-9 and 9C return. Okay, so the first point, prepare annual reconciliations from input, output and RCM related matters for the relevant financial year. Sir, now I am just going to discuss about the financial year 22-23. Okay, because this is the due date of filing the annual return of GSTR-9 and 9C for financial year 22-23. So in that case, before moving ahead, before start your working, before filing your October month return, GSTR3B or GSTR1, whatever could be the return format, you need to ready yourself with all the reconciliations. Okay, and when I'm going to use the word that is all the reconciliations, in that case, I just want to say there are 3 reconciliations which are mandatory before filing the October month return. Okay, the first one is your input reconciliation, that as per my GSTR3B, this is my input. As per my GSTR2B, this is my input tax credit, and as per my books of accounts, this is my input tax credit. And you need to reconcile all those input tax credit. And if there is any difference, suppose you had excess claim the input tax credit, in that case from reversal point of view, and if you had less claim input tax credit, in that case to claim that input tax credit in the October month itself, you need to prepare the reconciliation. Second one, output comparison. Your outward supply, which is declared in your GSTR1 return, which is declared in your GSTR3B return, and which is available in your books of accounts, you need to compare all those 3 outward supplies on a monthly basis. And if there is any difference while comparing from the books data and from the GSTR3B and 1 data, in that case you need to modify your GSTR1 and 3B according to the books of accounts. Okay, that is what is the point, that each and everything which is available on the GSTN record before filing the return of October month, you need to prepare all those things with compared to your books data. That means your books is final because books is already audited. So आपका input, output और RCM सब कुछ आपको किसके according करना है? You need to ready all those things as per your books of accounts. RCM related, you need to check your profit and loss account. And when you are going to check your profit and loss account, you need to check that this term is liable for the reverse charge mechanism. This term is liable for the reverse charge mechanism. And as per books of account, this is the taxable value on which I need to pay the tax under reverse charge mechanism. And compare the same from the GSTR3B return, the annual consolidated GSTR3B return, that जिस अमाउंट पे मेरे बुक्स के अकॉर्डिंग मुझे आरसीएम पे करना है, क्या मैंने 3B में भी उसी अमाउंट पे आरसीएम पे किया है या फिर नहीं किया है. If there is any excess payment or less payment, in that case you need to adjust the same in your October month return. That is what is the purpose of these 3 reconciliations. Okay, next, analyze the audit report of the fund. Okay, As we all know that audit has already completed for all the entities. So you need to take the audit report of that particular party और उस audit report के अंदर you need to check कि ऑडिट रिपोर्ट के अंदर जो टर्नओवर है द टर्नओवर डिक्लेयर्ड एज पर द ऑडिट रिपोर्ट इज मैचिंग विद द टर्नओवर डिक्लेयर्ड इन द जीएसटीआर 1 and 3 रिटर्न the closing balance of input tax credit which is available in the balance sheet of the audit report the same is reconciled with the closing balance of input tax credit which is available on the GSTR common portal and if there is any difference मैं ये नहीं कहता हूं कि वहां पर डिफरेंस नहीं होना चाहिए डिफरेंस तो होना ही चाहिए ओके सही काम के यही निशानी है कि वहां पर डिफरेंस हो बट यू हैव द प्रॉपर रिकंसिलेशन दैट इज व्हाट इज द रिक्वायरमेंट so the point is that the closing balance which is reflected in the balance sheet of the audited financial statement and the closing balance which is available on the GSTN common portal should be reconciled. If there is any difference, in that case you need to ready yourself with the reconciliation statement. One question is there, discount received in financial statement not reported in GSTR, whether to show in September month return in GSTR 1 or 3 both. If you receive the discount, okay, and you had already issued the debit note for that discount or you had issued the invoices for the discount, in that case you need to report the same in your GSTR 1 return and give the effect of that adjustment in your GSTR 3 return as well. Okay, suppose the discount amount is 50,000 rupees. In that case, you need to report that 50,000 plus CGST, SGST or IGST, whatever will be the situation, and the same effect we need to give in our GSTR 3 return. That is what is the treatment of your discount. Is that okay, Paresh ji? Then next, reconcile sales from the audit report. Whatever sales reported in your audited financial statement, that is trading account, you need to reconcile the data from the GST database. Go through with the previous financial year GSTR-9 and 9C. Sir, this is also an important task because when you are going to check the GSTR-9 and 9C of the previous financial year, in that case you get the idea that this amount of input tax credit we had claimed in the relevant financial year related to the previous financial year. तभी तो मुझे पता चलेगा कि मैंने पिछले साल से रिलेटेड कितनी इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट यहां पर क्लेम की है. ओके, यू गॉट माय पॉइंट. Suppose during financial year 21-22, 50,000 की IGST you had claimed in the financial year 22-23. In that case, when you are going to prepare the reconciliation statement, your input tax reconciliation statement. In that case, you will found that your GSTR 3 will show an excess claim of input tax credit in comparison to your books data, and the reason is that you had claimed the input tax credit related to financial year 22-21, 21-22 in the financial year 22-23. And how you will get this particular fact? You need to check the previous financial year GSTR-9 and 9C. Carefully prepare the reconciliations from the April 23 to September 23. सर मैं क्यों बोल रहा हूं कि आप अक्टूबर मंथ के रिटर्न को फाइल करने से पहले ये कैलकुलेशन कर लेना, बिकॉज there may be chances that related to financial year 22-23 you have certain adjustment. You have made the certain adjustment during the financial year 23-24 till the September month, but still there are certain adjustments are pending. So for that purpose you need to prepare the reconciliations for the financial year 23-24. जब मैं इतने सारे reconciliation बनाने की बात करता हूं, बिकॉज अभी कल ही मैं एक फिजिकल सेमिनार ले रहा था, तो वहां पर जब मैंने बोला वी नीड टू प्रिपेयर दिस रिकंसिलिएशन, इन दैट केस मुझे कुछ लोगों ने बोला कि क्लाइंट इज नॉट गोइंग टू पे अस एक्स्ट्रा फीस फॉर दैट एफर्ट्स. सो मैंने बोला एक बार आप कुछ उसको निकाल करके दो. इन दैट केस इफ क्लाइंट विल फाइंड समथिंग, इन दैट केस वी विल डेफिनेटली पे द फीस. और अगर कोई क्लाइंट आपको फीस नहीं दे रहा है इस एक्स्ट्रा एफर्ट्स के लिए, इन दैट केस यू जस्ट नीड टू प्रिपेयर द लिस्ट एंड गिव द सेम टू द अकाउंटेंट दैट आई नीड दीज रिकंसिलिएशंस बिफोर फाइलिंग द अक्टूबर मंथ रिटर्न, सो दैट वो सारे के सारे रिकंसिलिएशंस अगर आपके हाथ में होंगे, इन दैट केस दिस विल बी द वेरी फेवरेबल सिचुएशन फॉर यू एट द टाइम ऑफ एनी लिटिगेशन. So that is what is the thing. We need to be very much careful before filing the annual return. We need to ready ourselves these things. So the first point is okay for each and everyone. I just want reply from everyone. So I just want your support to make this session more effective. So for that purpose, I'm requesting you just provide your comment in the chat box that this thing is okay for you or not. Okay. You will definitely get the benefit of it. Now, the next point is that show your adjustment. Show your adjustment link to financial year 22-23 September October month. Paresh, for that question related to long term capital gain, you need to share certain details with me. Okay, your client is dealing in this particular capital gain business regularly, and this is the nature of the business for that particular entity, or this is one time, because security is not covered under the definition of the goods, so no GST will be applicable on that. So there is no requirement to show the same in the GSTR-9 and 9C return. For filing 9 and 9C, वैसे देखा जाए GSTR 9 and 9C आर द कॉम्प्लिकेटेड रिटर्न. वैसे देखा जाए GSTR 9 and 9C आर द सिंपलेस्ट रिटर्न. Just requirement is that you need to clear your mind related to the basic concepts. You need to have the idea about the basic concept, the basic provisions of law. So now show your adjustment related to financial year 22-23 September October month. So what are the adjustment which we need to show in the September and October month return related to the financial year 22-23? So in this point, we are going to discuss on those paras. The first, this is the last call to make every adjustment related to financial year 22-23. This is the last call, because after that you need, if you want to make any adjustment, any changes, in that case you need to take the help of GSTR-9 and 9C return. And in that case GSTR-9 और 9C रिटर्न में अगर आपको कहीं पर भी आउटपुट एनहांस करनी है, if you want to enhance the output tax credit, there is no problem, you can easily enhance. But when you are going to say that I want to claim the input tax credit related to financial year 22-23, in that case GSTR-9 and 9C will not allow you this particular thing. Okay, that means अगर आप पे करना चाहो तो 9 and 9C आपको कभी मना नहीं करेगा, but for adjustment purposes 9 and 9C is not there. So for that purpose, this is the last call. That is your September October month is the last call for you to make the necessary adjustment related to financial year 22 and 23. Show your cumulative output adjustment in GSTR-1 as well as GSTR-3B return. Suppose if there is any less reporting of output supply, or if there is any excess reporting of output supply during financial year 22-23, and you want to show the same, if you want to show the same, in that case you need to make the necessary adjustment in your GSTR-1 and GSTR-3B as well. जैसा कि अभी परेश जी बोल रहे थे कि डिस्काउंट रिलेटेड कोई एडजस्टमेंट अगर होना रह गए, in that case this is the month, that is September and October is the month, in that case you need to declare the same in your GSTR-1 return and as well as provide the effect of the same in your GSTR-3B return. Make same related adjustment in GSTR-3B return. कोई ऐसी टर्म हो सकती है, there may be chances there are certain terms on which you had not paid the reverse charge mechanism. Suppose while analyzing the financial statement you found that taxpayer has not paid the reverse charge mechanism or legal fees. In that case, you can do one thing. You can declare the same in the GSTR-9 return. You can declare the same in your GSTR-3 return of the September or October month and claim the input tax credit. There is no problem. But if you are going to show the same in your GSTR-9 return, in that case, you will not be eligible to claim any input tax credit. That is what is the fundament. अब मुझे लग रहा है आपको शायद ये डिफरेंशिएशन क्लियर होने लगा होगा कि why we need to do all these adjustment in our September and October month return instead of the GSTR-9 and 9C return. As you all know, the role of rule number 42 and 43. Rule number 42 will be applicable in case of input and input service, and rule number 43 will be applicable in case of capital goods. Suppose I am a taxpayer. Okay, I am a taxpayer, I am a manufacturer, and for manufacturing purposes, I am going to buy certain products, certain input service, and capital goods. And from that manufacturing process, there are 2 to 3 products are there. The generation of 3 products, and one product is exempted and another products are taxable. In I am dealing in exempted as taxable products, but I am going to use the input tax rate of all those products. In that case, I need to make the reversal as per rule number 42. And if there is any plant and machinery, and I am going to use that plant and machinery for my exempted supply as well as for my taxable supply, in that case, the input tax rate related to that capital goods, I need to reverse as per rule number 43. Okay, in this session, we cannot discuss that rule or calculation part in detail. Okay, but if you are going to check my YouTube channel, find out the videos on rule number 42 and 43 as well. Okay, so you need to check that the calculation as per rule number 42 and 43 is correct or not. Okay, this is also your responsibility. You need to check this thing. Now, check the bifurcation of input as blocked credit and ineligible credit. As you all know, section 17 subsection 5 is there regarding the blocked credit. Suppose you had bought certain cement, iron and other materials, okay, which is blocked under section 17 subsection 5. In that case, you need to check that the taxpayer has provided the clear bifurcation of that 17.5 block input tax credit in the GSTR-3 return. और अगर कोई इनपुट का रिवर्सल यहाँ पर रह गया है, in that case you need to make that reversal in the GSTR-9 and 9C return. You need to check if during the relevant particular financial year, suppose during financial year 2023, अगर वहां पर कोई लेट फाइलिंग ऑफ रिटर्न है, if there is any late filing of return, in that case you need to check that on that late filing the interest is already paid or not, and if the taxpayer has not paid the interest, in that case you need to pay the interest in the October or September month return with your October or September month GSTR-3 return. कई बार मुझसे ये वाले क्वेश्चन क्रॉस होते हैं कि अगर लेट रिटर्न फाइल किया, इन दैट केस व्हाई देयर इज रिक्वायरमेंट टू पे द इंटरेस्ट, वी कैन पे द इंटरेस्ट एट द टाइम ऑफ demand raised by the departmental authority through various return, whether it is a GST A7010, whether it is a DRC01, whatever will be the that is notice. I am again and again saying, in that case we need not to wait for the notice, we need to pay the interest immediately, because एक छोटे से इंटरेस्ट की वजह से आपकी पूरी फाइल खुलेगी और जब वो आपकी फाइल को चेक करेगा, in that case वो 3 to 4 पैरास आपके लिए वहां पर प्रेजेंट कर देगा. So you need to be very much careful. If there is any late filing of return, in that case ensure that the interest has already been paid with that particular return, and if the interest has not been paid, in that case you need to make the payment till the 30th November, that is October month return. Check RCM figure and confirm the same with the audited financial statement. You need to check the profit and loss account of the audited financial statement, that is audit report, and you need to check the terms. Suppose there are 4 to 5 terms, that is legal fees is there, advertisement fees is there is certain director related fees are there. In that case, you need to check that the taxpayers paid the reverse charge mechanism or not. And if there is any pendency in case of payment of the reverse charge mechanism, in that case, we need to make the payment in our September or October month return. Analyze all the income of the audited financial statement and check that the same has been mentioned in the GST record. You need to be very much careful for that. Before closing, you need to check the audited financial statement. That suppose in your profit and loss account, there is certain income that is incentive related, discount related, rental income, commission income. In that case, you need to confirm that proper GST has already been paid on that income or not. And if the GST has not been paid, in that case, we need to make the payment in our September month or October month return. Sir, ये अपन अगर 9 में भी डिक्लेयर करें देयर इज नो प्रॉब्लम, वही हमारे ऊपर इंटरेस्ट एप्लीकेबल होगा और हमें वही पेमेंट करना है. बट if we are going to declare the same in our GSTR-9 return, in that case the counterpart will not be eligible to claim the input tax credit. So for that purpose, while analyzing the profit and loss account, if you found any term on which GST should be applicable, in that case you need to make the payment of the taxes on that particular term in September or October month GSTR-3 return and declare the outward supply in GSTR-1 return of September or October month, so that counterparty can easily claim the input tax credit. That is what is the thing we need to be very much carefully while finalizing our September or October month return. So this is my humble request to you. We had covered 2 points of this particular notes. So I just ask you one question, that these 2 points are clear in your mind. No, there is no requirement. Paresh, there is no requirement to show the same in GSTR-9 or 9C return. So just confirm me once that this thing is okay for you. I am waiting for your reply in the chat box. Okay. So we'll share the turnover calculation sheet. Okay. You need to consider all turnover for aggregate turnover except your non-GST supply. We'll share you the sheet. Okay. There is no issue with that. Paresh, you have my WhatsApp number. You just need to WhatsApp me. So we'll share you the sheet. Or you may mail us. Okay. For joining this today's webinar, you have received the mail. So you can reply on that mail. You will get that sheet. The next thing, that is reconciliations helping hand for you. I am going to discuss with you 3 to 4 reconciliations which are really very much important for ready yourself filing the GSTR-9 and 9C return for annual closing purposes. Okay. So as we all know that reconciliations are the very crucial as well as important task under GST. One can say that GST law is the world of reconciliations. I am sharing with you the list of reconciliation which plays a very important role under GST. As we all know, in GST, each and everything is based on the figures. ओके हर चीज के रिकंसिलेशन हमारे पास में होने चाहिए, हर चीज हमारे रिकंसिलेशन से है, डेटा से है. सो फॉर दैट पर्पस वी नीड टू रेडी अवर सेल्फ with certain reconciliations. The first reconciliation is your output related reconciliation. That is GSTR-1, GSTR-3B, GSTR-1. The sales which you had reported in your GSTR-1 should be reconciled with your GSTR-3B return, and the sales which is reported in your GSTR-1 and 3B return which should be reconciled with your books of account. So this reconciliation is a very important and very must thing is there. Okay. Also, we had developed one tool for reconciliation, that is related to output reconciliation, related to input reconciliation, RCM related reconciliation, and reversal related reconciliation. This reconciliation tool is also there. Okay. You can buy the same from the website, or you may comment on the WhatsApp, which share the link. Okay. So you can take these reconciliations as well. Input reconciliations, that is GSTR-3B, GSTR-2B, GST books. Whatever input tax credit which is showing in your books of account should be reconciled with GSTR-2B and GSTR-3B return. And if there is any mismatch, मैं ये नहीं बोलता हूँ यहाँ पर mismatch नहीं होगा. If there is any mismatch, in that case we need to have the reconciliations. Next, RCM related reconciliations, books versus GST records, that is GSTR-3B. As per books of account, this is the term on which we need to pay the reverse charge mechanism. That means this is the term on which we need to make the payment of taxes under reverse charge mechanism. And as per GSTR-3B return, this is the amount on which we had already paid the reverse charge mechanism. This reconciliation is required. Next, reversal related calculations, that is reversal on account of rule number 42, 43. We had already discussed rule number 42 will be applicable in case of input and input service, and rule number 43 will be applicable in case of capital goods. Okay, so we need to have the calculation related to reversals, various reconciliation, various reversals, whether it is a 42, 43, whether it is a blocked credit, that is 17.5. We need to have the reconciliations. So we had covered three parts. The first part we had covered is your certain things which we need to know before filing the annual return. Second part was the necessary adjustment we need to make in the September or October month return. And the third part is important reconciliations, which plays a very important role for filing the GSTR-9 and 9C. We had discussed on those reconciliations as well. ओके सर, अगर चाहते तो इस वेबिनार को 2 आवर का 3 आवर का भी प्लान कर सकते थे, बट आई नो वेरी वेल द टाइम इज मनी. So for that purpose, we had created the crux of complete preparation for filing the GSTR-9 and 9C in 40 to 45 minutes. Okay. So if you are going to check all those things, in that case, this is my assurance to you, your GSTR-9 and 9C will be in a perfect way. No, quarterly return filer cannot claim the input tax in the December month GSTR-3B return. Okay, this is not allowable because the timeline is 30th November. So we know in case of quarterly return filers, the due date to file the GST returns, that is 30th October or 20th October for filing the GSTR-3B return. So for that purpose, October month related input tax is that quarterly return filer cannot pay. Okay, and there is no any other guideline or any other advisory is there from the GSTN side. Is that okay, Nanji? Next point, 3 points हम लोगों ने cover कर लिए. Last, we are going to discuss on the fourth point, the fourth part of this particular webinar. Are you ready to prepare the data for filing the annual return? This is my question. So, for filing the annual return, you need to have certain documents. So, in this particular point, we are going to discuss on the documentation, and also we are going to discuss on certain important points. So, as we all know that to start the war, we first need to ready ourselves with weapons. ओके, हम सबको पता है कि अगर कोई युद्ध लड़ने के लिए जाना है तो हमको अपने आप को रेडी करना है, हमारे हथियार भी हमारे साथ में होने चाहिए। तो हमारे जीएसटीआर 9 और 9C किसी हथियार से कम नहीं है। वी ऑल नो when we are filing the annual return for financial year 17 18 18 19 19 20, कितने सारे एफर्ट्स डाले थे, कितने सारी कैलकुलेशन थी, कितना सारा डेटाबेस था, तो कुछ सिंप्लीफाइड हुआ है। बट फिर भी वी नीड टू ट्रेन अवरसेल्फ दैट व्हेन वी आर गोइंग टू फाइल द एनुअल रिटर्न शुड बी फाइल्ड इन अ परफेक्ट वे। Yes, merely quarterly return filers can claim the input tax credit till the September month. Okay, but if they are going to file their return delay, suppose they are going to file the return delay, in that case they may claim the input tax credit in the September month GSTR-3B return. If they are going to file the September month GSTR-3B return till 30th November, in that case they may claim that input tax credit. But the question is that late fees is there. Okay, this point is also there. The same principle will be applicable in case of GST annual returns. To file the return in a best possible way, we first need to ready ourselves with the required data to prepare the annual return. Let's discuss the points one by one. First, be ready with the audit report to file the GSTR-9 and 9C, because servant department authority is going to take your case for any scrutiny, for any business audit. In that case, they are first going to check the audit report. तो क्यों ना हम खुद ही चेक कर ले बिफोर फाइलिंग द जीएसटी और 9 and 9C return. So this is the point that you need to ready that particular audit report before filing the GSTR 9 and 9C. You need to check each and everything of that audit report before filing the GSTR 9 and 9C. The first part is your audit report. Keep ready all the reconciliations. We had already covered the reconciliations, और कोई ज्यादा reconciliation नहीं है। आउटपुट का रिकंसिलेशन, इनपुट का रिकंसिलेशन, आरसीएम रिलेटेड रिकंसिलेशन एंड रिवर्सल रिलेटेड रिकंसिलेशन you need to have. If you have all those reconciliations, in that case this is more than sufficient. Check all the notices issued by the department during the relevant period. Nowadays department is going to issue multiple notices in form ASFD 10, DRC 01, and the most important thing is that for that ASFD 10, no intimation is to be given to your mail ID, your registered mail ID. You need to log into the GSTN portal and you need to check that there is any notices available or not. So for that purpose, when we are going to file the annual return GSTR 9 or 9C, we need to carefully check that there is no notices pending. और अगर कोई notice आया हुआ है, in that case we need to ready ourselves with the particular proper reply. That is what is the point. Just a single second. Next, carefully check the electronic credit ledger and electronic cash ledger. When you are going to check the electronic cash ledger and credit ledger, in that case you get the idea that there is any refund claim or not, there is any reversal of input tax credit or not. So you can take the help of that ECL as well. Keep ready the refund calculation working. I know in GSTR 9 the refund working is not mandatorily required. But if you want to file the GSTR 9 and 9C in a professional way, in that case there is requirement that you need to check the refund calculation as well. You just need to demand the sheet from the client that please provide your refund calculation sheet. Keep ready the consolidated GSTR-1 and 3B return generated from the books of accounts. When you are going to take that consolidated GSTR-1 and 3B return generated from the books of accounts, in that case you will get the idea that that consolidation amount should be reconciled with the GSTN portal or not. And if there is any difference, in that case, you need to check that you had already adjusted the same from April to September month or October month. And if you had not made that adjustment, in that case, you need to make the adjustment in the GSTR-9 and 9C return. Keep ready your creditor's income expenditure ledger. This is also an important thing that you need to check that there is any creditor payment is due or not more than 180 days, and if there is any pending amount, in that case you need to say your client that you need to make the payment or you need to reverse that income tax credit. This is also one task for us. Income and expenditure, we need to check from that perspective that if there is any expenditure on which reverse charge is applicable, and if the client has not paid the same, in that case we need to make the payment in our GSTR-9 return. And income, we need to check that on that particular income GST is to be applicable or not, and if the GST is applicable, in that case we need to ask to our client that why you had not paid that GST on that particular income. That is what is the logic. These are the things we need to be ready ourselves for filing the GSTR-9 and 9C return. आज इस 45 to 50 मिनट्स के अंदर जो पॉइंट हम लोग डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, I assure you, if you are going to give importance to all those points, in that case, you can file your GSTR-9 and 9C return in a very smooth way. One question is there, in case of RCM ITC reverse access under sections 42 as compared to ITC taken, under section 42, I am not getting your point. Are you talking from rule number 42 point of view? Paresi, I am not getting your point. So Paresi, you may connect with me over WhatsApp. Is that possible for you for this specific query, because I am not getting your point? So you may connect with me over WhatsApp. I will share with you my WhatsApp number. I have shared my WhatsApp number. So if you have any question, if you have any point, in that case, you may connect with me over WhatsApp. So for that purpose, in our today's session, sir, I am not getting your point. Except supply. Paresi, can we connect over call or WhatsApp? Is that okay? I have already shared my WhatsApp number. Sir, you may connect with me over WhatsApp post this session, okay? So that it will be more convenient for me as well. During the session to pick the call, it is not possible for me. Yes, he is talking from exempt supply point of view. So he is basically talking from rule number 42 point of view, but yes, Praise, you can call me, because for that query I need much more data to provide you the solution or to provide you the reply. So you need to provide me certain data so that I can understand the situation in a better way. So In our today's session, we had started our discussion from the annual closing from GSTN perspective, that what are the things which we need to be take care before filing the annual return, what are the adjustment we need to make in our September or October month return, and with that we had talked about the various reconciliations which plays a very important role under GST, and after that we had discussed about the certain things we need to be ready for filing the annual return. So this is our webinar. We had covered the content in 15 minutes. Okay. We had covered this content. So if you have any question, if you have any doubt, in that case, you may comment the same in the chat box. Chat box is there. And if you don't want to type the same in the chat box, in that case, you may comment your queries on my WhatsApp number, and you can take time from me on the WhatsApp and you may connect with me over WhatsApp. There is no issue with that as well. So I am here for next 2 minutes. If you have any question, if you have any point, in that case, you may connect with me. And one more request is that whatever will be your feedback for this session, whatever will be your feedback, whatever will be your valuable suggestions, you just need to comment the same in the chat box, and you can provide your suggestions over the website. Okay. This is the best reward for me. That will be the best award for me for this webinar. So I think there is no question is pending. So can we sign off for today? And whatever will be your suggestion, whatever will be your feedback, just comment me in the chat box. You may WhatsApp me your feedback for this webinar, and you may comment your feedback on the website as well. Okay, so we are going to sign off for our today's session. Thank you everyone for the patience learning. आप लोगों ने अपना टाइम निकाला and you have joined this webinar. So I am again requesting you that whatever will be your feedback, whatever will be your suggestion for our today's session, just comment me over WhatsApp. That will be the reward for me. So I will wait for your comments on this valuable webinar. So thank you everyone for joining this. We'll meet soon in another webinar. Thank you everyone.